Good afternoon. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the last edition of The World Today. For the week, it is a Southwest Network program of Radio Nigeria, Ibadan Zonal Station, comprising news and entertainment. In the lineup, court remands former Labour Minister. All is set for APC gubernatorial primary election in Osun. South Korea University Entrance Examination Chief Organizer resigns. Still on the foreign scene, powerful earthquake hit Japan. Heart of the Matter focuses on ensuring universal health coverage as the day is commemorated. We also have entertainment gist for your listening pleasure. My name is Stephen Agbaje, and with me on the news is
Feyi Shara Owomoyela. Thank you for joining us. You can listen to us via the live stream www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. Now the details. An Abuja High Court sitting in Gwarinpa has remanded former Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC arraigned the former minister who alleged over 2 billion naira contract fraud. Justice Mariam Hassan ordered that the former minister be remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center pending the hearing of his bail application fixed for Monday, December 15. Mr. Ngige had pleaded not guilty to 8 counts bordering on abuse of office and acceptance of gifts from contractors of the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund while he served as its supervising minister between September 2015 and May 2023. After the plea, EFCC counsel Sylvanus Tahir SAN applied for a trial date and asked the court to remand the defendant. The defense-led lead counsel Patrick Ikweto SAN, however, opposed the EFCC's submission and urged the court to grant his client bail on health grounds, noting that the former minister had been in the EFCC custody for 3 days prior to the arraignment.
The Supreme Court has upheld the death sentence imposed on Mariam Sonda, daughter-in-law of a former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, over the killing of her husband, Biliamis Bello. Mrs. Sonda was convicted on January 27, 2020 by an Abuja High Court, which found her guilty of fatally stabbing Bello at their Maitama home in 2017. She was subsequently sentenced to death by hanging. She had spent about 6 years and 8 months at the Suleja Correctional Center before President Bola Tinubu granted her clemency, reducing the sentence to 12 years imprisonment.
The All Progressives Congress APC will tomorrow hold its gubernatorial election primary in Oshogbo ahead of Osun State governorship election. Radio Nigeria's correspondent reports that the APC screening committee recently cleared 2 aspirants, Mrs. Mulikat Jimo and Haji Bola Oyebamiji, to contest the primary. In view of this, the disqualified contestants agreed to adopt a consensus candidate in person of Alhaji Bola Oyebamiji after a recent meeting with President Bola Tinubu and other stakeholders of the party at the Aso Villa in Abuja. According to a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Nonuga, the contenders pledged to maintain unity and cohesion in Osun State. President Tinubu lauded the aspirants for their commitment to the party and urged them to avoid divisions that could undermine APC's chances during the Osun State governorship election slated for August next year. Meanwhile, the former APC National Secretary, Senator Iyola Omishore, who was not part of the meeting yesterday, declared his support for the party's arrangement to choose a consensus candidate for the 2026 Osun State governorship election while featuring on a television program. The potential consensus candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, Alhaji Bola Oyebamiji, will face the Accord Party candidate and incumbent governor of the state, Senator Ademola Adeleke, and African Democratic Congress ADC's candidate. Still on Osun primary ahead of tomorrow's primary election, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Osun State, Chief Peter Ogundeji, also known as Akpata, has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for restoring unity within the party. In a statement from his Media and Communications Office, Chief Ogundeji said President Tinubu's intervention in resolving the disputes that followed the screening of aspirants has calmed rising tensions and reunited the party. He noted that the disqualification of 7 out of 9 aspirants had created widespread anxiety among party members before the president's meeting with the stakeholders in Abuja. Chief Ogundeji hailed the 8 aspirants who attended the meeting, including former Deputy Governor Benedict Alabi, Dotun Babayemi, Akin Ogunbiyi, Senator Babajide Omowurare, Kunle Adegoke, Babatunde Hareta Oralusi, Mulikat Abiola Jimo, and Honorable Munerudin Oyebamiji, describing their cooperation as a show of political maturity. He also praised former Deputy Governor Iyola Omishore for aligning with the peace process despite being absent from the meeting. The APC chieftain welcomed the collective decision of the aspirants to support Honorable Bola Oyebanji and Mrs. Mulikat Abiola Jimo during the primary, as both emerged successful from the screening. He warns that unity remains critical to the APC's electoral success, stressing that internal divisions must be avoided.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Ogun State has concluded the first phase of the Continuous Voter Registration (CVR) exercise, marking a significant step in its ongoing preparations to enhance the credibility of the voter register ahead of forthcoming elections. The resident electoral commissioner, Mrs. Feijimi Shashei, who stated these in Abeokuta, Ogun State, announced that the display of registered voters for claims and objections would commence on Monday, 15th December to Sunday, 21st December 2025. Mrs. Shashei noted that the display would hold daily between 9 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon across all 20 local government area offices in the state to allow residents verify their details and raise necessary corrections. The resident electoral commissioner urged new registrants, those who transferred polling units, and individuals who updated their details to take advantage of the display period, noting that forms for claims and objections will be available at all designated centers. Mrs. Shashei also announced that the second phase of the national CVR will resume on 5th January 2026, while reaffirming the Commission's commitment to sustaining a transparent, credible, and inclusive electoral process. She urged residents to continue supporting INEC's efforts to deepen Nigeria's democracy.
The federal government says from January 1, 2026, all taxable Nigerians must obtain a tax identification number or taxpayer identification number to operate a bank account in the country. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, said this in an interview shared on his X account. This clarification comes as many Nigerians expressed concerns that bank accounts without a tax ID could soon face restrictions.
Special Advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Security, Mr. Olushola Suber, has identified misconceptions and fear of politicization as major factors working against the call for state policing in the country. Mr. Suber, who stated these while speaking with Radio Nigeria in Abeokuta, explained that many Nigerians mistakenly believe that creating state police would override the Nigerian police, leading to clashes of authority and confusion in law enforcement. Our correspondent, Abimbola Bangboshe, has the details.
Debate over establishing state police in Nigeria has lingered for years, resurfacing whenever insecurity spikes or when political leaders renew call for decentralized policing. Despite repeated advocacy, the proposal continues to face resistance from both citizens and stakeholders. The special advisor to Ogun State Governor on Security, Mr. Olusola Subaru, pointed out that some citizens fear the state governors could misuse state police for political intimidation, personal vendetta, and to silence the opposition.
The wrong perception is that the state police will take over the responsibilities of the federal police, which is not so. There will be a line of demarcation between them.
Mr. Subaru explained that the establishment of state policing was necessary to strengthen security architectures and curb the activities of bandits. Some residents of Abeokuta, including Mr. Adebisi Afolabi, Ms. Shaki Kayede, and Ms. Adetayo Aderemi, told Radio Nigeria that frequent cases of harassment, brutality, and extortion have weakened public trust in law enforcement.
It's a good thing to have state police. Hopefully, it will not be overshadowed by the politicians, because that's the fear of many Nigerians.
State policing might not work in Nigeria. We citizens, we don't trust our police because they might use it against us.
Some factors affecting implementation of state policing, police behavior over the years, it has left a very negative impression on the public. Harassment, brutality, extortion.
They maintain that until discipline and accountability improve within the police system, Nigerians will remain skeptical about allowing states to control their police forces. The residents added that for state policing to gain public acceptance, clear legal frameworks, independent oversight, and strong professional safeguards should be put in place. In Abeokuta, Abimbola Bangbushi, Radio Nigeria.
Thank you, Abimbola Bangbushi, for that report. As the world marks Universal Health Coverage UHC Day today, stakeholders across the health sector are renewing calls for stronger action to ensure that every individual have access to quality healthcare without financial hardship. Correspondent Fumi Ojo has the details.
Universal Health Coverage Day is observed every December 12, commemorating the historic moment in 2012 when the United Nations unanimously endorsed universal health coverage as an essential priority for global development. The resolution urged all member states to strengthen health systems so that people everywhere could access the full range of essential health services from prevention to treatment without falling into poverty. Despite global commitments, healthcare affordability remains a major concern. The World Health Organization estimates that billions of people still lack access to essential health services, while millions are pushed into extreme poverty yearly due to out-of-pocket medical expenses. This year's global theme on affordable health costs, we are sick of it, highlights the growing burden of rising medical expenses on families, particularly in low and middle-income countries like Nigeria. In Nigeria, stakeholders, including residents of Oshogbo, Osun State, lament treatment costs for common illnesses, limited health insurance coverage, long distances to facilities, and inadequate health workers, especially for rural and vulnerable populations.
Go to the health sector now. Go to our hospitals. They lack equipment the same way our personnel are moving in mass looking for greener pasture. It's like the government doesn't have our interest at heart, and this is bad.
Equipment that are important, they should make it available for our various hospitals, especially the government hospitals.
Looking at the health sector in Nigeria is very, very bad. Go to all our health centers, we only have buildings, but no facilities. If you go to any health centers now for treatment, you see they have nothing to work with.
To understand the situation on the front line, a senior nurse at a private healthcare center in Osun State, Mrs. Kemi Olabanji, emphasized the urgency of addressing affordability and access gaps.
Significant gaps still exist, such as limited fund, weak infrastructure, shortage of skilled health workers, and low insurance enrollment continue to slow the progress toward the universal health coverage. Rural communities and vulnerable populations remain remain disproportionately affected.
In his own submission, a health analyst, Mr. Joshua Oladeni, called for expanded coverage of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, sustained investment in primary healthcare centers, and effective implementation of state health insurance schemes.
Government need to increase their budget when it comes to health matters and ensure that there is effective implementation of any of their policies.
Also speaking, the Director of Public Health in the Osun State Ministry of Health, Dr. Akim Bello, said the state government has taken steps to ensure vulnerable people have access to free health services at zero cost.
There's no way you talk about universal health coverage that will not talk about their financing. In Osun State, it's through insurance. Like in Osun State now, we have a lot of vulnerables. We have people that have retired. When you go to Elisha prison, all the prisoners are enrolled. And you know this enrollment is going to be sponsored by the government.
However, this year's theme is a reminder that the world is still far from achieving universal access to care. While the global message remains clear, health systems must be people-centered, fair, and financially accessible. In Osogbo, Fumi Ojo.
Anthony Akonji of our planning unit in today's Out of the Matter writes on ensuring universal health coverage as the day is commemorated.
In the words of a former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Winston Churchill, healthy citizens are the greatest assets any country can have. Also, Anne Wilson Schaefer said, and I quote, "Good health is not something we can buy. However, it can be an extremely valuable savings account." Universal health coverage is ensuring that everyone, especially the most vulnerable, has access to quality health care without suffering financial hardship. However, this is not so for many people across the world due to harsh socio-economic and political situation. Health is a human right, and it is the responsibility of government to ensure that people are not impoverished by health expenses. According to the World Health Organization (WHO), despite huge investments made on health globally, it is sad that more than half of the world's population lacks access to essential health services. Universal Health Coverage Day, therefore, is celebrated annually on the 12th of December, which is the anniversary of the first unanimous United Nations resolution calling for all nations to provide for their citizens affordable and qualitative health care. This serves as an annual rallying point for advocates, reminding the world of the imperative of universal health coverage. It is a known fact that healthier populations build communities that are more resilient, productive, peaceful, and prosperous. Hence, health for all is a prerequisite to achieving this, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). For countries to achieve universal health coverage by 2030, it is imperative to increase access to essential health services to all. Else, universal health coverage will remain elusive. The theme for this year is unaffordable health costs. We are sick of it. Focusing on the financial burden of healthcare, urging action to eliminate out-of-pocket costs, and highlighting the need for financial protection to ensure care access for everyone, as many people face hardship or poverty due to medical bills. Also, emphasizing that governments must act to ensure that health is a right and not a luxury, with calls for policy changes to reduce financial barriers. Investing in universal health coverage enhances equity and social cohesion while benefiting the national economy by improving health and well-being, increasing workforce participation and productivity, and also building resilience in individuals, families, and communities. Statistics by WHO shows that financial protection has worsened, with billions of people experiencing financial hardship and over 1 billion people pushed into poverty due to health expenses in the last 20 years. Safe, healthy practices must be adopted by individuals who want to live healthy. People must engage in actions such as walking, dancing, yoga, racing, or other activities to stay healthy. In line with the saying that you are what you eat, it is important to eat a well-balanced, low-fat diet with lots of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Also, regular intake of water to stay hydrated and limiting beverages with too much sugar are essential to staying healthy. Most importantly, regular general medical checkups should be embarked on once or twice a year. Taking these steps will limit hospital visitations due to sicknesses and the agony of coping with health complications.
That script on ensuring universal health coverage was written by Anthony Akonji of our planning unit and read by Emilia Ujemudia.
This is the world today. The stories that made the headlines so far. Court has remanded former Labour Minister Ngige. All is set for APC gubernatorial primary election in Osun. Still to come, South Korea University entrance examination chief resigns and powerful earthquake hit Japan.
Glad to know you're still with us. Now to the foreign scene. The chief organizer of South Korea's university entrance exam, Mr. Oh Seun-kyo, has resigned after complaints that an English test he designed was just too difficult. South Korea's college entry exam, known locally as Seung, is essential for admission to top universities and widely regarded as a gateway to social mobility, economic security, and even a good marriage. But reports say this year, just over 3% of exam takers scored top marks in the English test, which was the lowest since absolute grading was introduced for the subject in 2018.
All right, to Japan now, where the meteorological agency says a powerful magnitude 6.7 earthquake has struck the coast of northern part of the country. It said the earthquake ravaged the area days after an even larger tremor shook the region and injured at least 50 people. The agency also warned that tsunami waves of up to 1 meter could hit the northern Pacific coastline.
And now sports. Inter Miami forward Lionel Messi will unveil a 70-foot statue of himself in India tomorrow as he embarks on a 3-day tour of the country that has sparked a fan frenzy. Report says the iron sculpture in Kolkata, which shows Messi holding the World Cup, is part of greatest of all time GOAT tour that will take in 4 Indian cities and a possible meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. According to reports, the 38-year-old Argentinian star will unveil the monument virtually rather than in person for security reasons.
All right, from sports, we now join Rashida Makide on Entertainment Gist.
Hello, listener. It's another Friday. Welcome to another edition of the Entertainment News for the week. This segment is where we bring gist and apropos from the entertainment industry for your pleasure. Come along with me and be entertained and informed. Thank God it's Friday. The actress Regina Daniels' mother, Rita Daniels, has returned to social media days after she was reported to have lost the Actors Guild of Nigeria AGN presidential election. In a video she shared via her official Instagram page, she was captured handing what appeared to be food to children from the boot of a car. According to reports, Regina Daniels' mother lost her bid for the position in an election conducted during the Guide's annual general meeting recently in Benin, the Edo state capital. She was defeated by the AGN National Secretary, Abubakar Yakubu, who succeeded Emeka Rollas as the Guide's president. Rita Daniels' alleged loss also came a few weeks after Emeka Rollas, who claimed that Regina Daniels needed help, advised her to prioritize her daughter's well-being rather than contesting the AGN elections. The actress Anita Joseph and estranged husband Michael Adeyanju have unfollowed each other on social media. The actress and her husband were married for 5 years. It was alleged that during the marriage, Anita Joseph went through several miscarriages, which made her lose interest in the relationship. Still in the movie industry, Nollywood actor and filmmaker Odunlade Adekola has warmed hearts with the way he honored his senior colleague, Peju Ogunmola, at the Odunlade Adekola Film Production Award ceremony. The event, which took place recently in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, saw Adekola, who also celebrated other colleagues in the industry. A video captured the moment when Adekola invited the actress on stage and asked the guests to give her a standing ovation. Recall that in September this year, tragedy struck the actress' family as she lost her only child and singer, Ayomikun. May God keep strengthening her and her family. Amen. The Nigerian singer Innocent Idibia, also known as Tubaba, has made an emotional appeal to Nigerians to forgive him and his family following a period of public scrutiny over his marriage to Natasha Idibia. In a video circulating online, the veteran musician addressed fans directly during a show, asking for understanding and the ongoing attention surrounding his family life. The singer's message came after several weeks of heightening interest in the couple's relationship. And finally, 2 years after he split from his estranged wife, Sheila, Israel DMW appears ready to explore love again. The logistic manager shared photos from T.Y. Danjuma's 80th birthday dinner, holding a mysterious lady in a green gown. Fans are intrigued as the post shows only the back of the woman, fueling speculation about Israel's partner. May he indeed find true love again. Well, that's a convenient point to end today's edition of the Entertainment News. Join us next week for fresh edition. On behalf of the editor, Emilia Ojemudia, I am Rashida Makinde, urging you to have a lovely weekend. Bye.
Many people say, Ejala no be small fish.
Thank you very much, Rashida. To end the news on the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are the day's top stories. An Abuja High Court sitting in Gwarimpa has remanded former Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige. The All Progressives Congress APC will tomorrow hold its primary in Oshogbo ahead of Osun State governorship election. The chief organizer of South Korea's university entrance examination has resigned after complaints that an English test he designed was just too difficult. And we also brought to you that the Japan Meteorological Agency says a powerful magnitude 6.7 earthquake has struck the coast of northern part of the country.
And that's it on the world today, on this week's edition of The Package. All right, join us on Monday for a fresh edition of the program. Rashida Makinde edited. I am Feyi Shara Owomoyela, thanking you for joining us, wishing you a restful weekend, and from my colleague
Stephen Abaje, do have a blissful weekend.